They'll be calling you a radicals here in Snow, Utah. Capital N-O, because there ain't any. So Weber is on the road, Eastern Washington. Remember the game last year here? Stockton versus John Stockton's kid versus Adele Threet's kid. John Stockton's kid threw up that scud. Beat him by, whoa, Weber beat him up there. But I have some good news finally, really good news. Now, why shooting it here and not at Ogden High? So, this is really good news. As you know, I've been working on this for a long time. So, native Ogden, Utah, Weber State, 2 national championships, University of Utah national championships, first player of color in the history of the NBA, New York Knicks. Japanese descent. Think about the Knicks drafting right on the hills of World War II. What a story. The incredible WAT MISAKA. So I was at the Ogden High game last night, and my grandson's there now. Yeah, they're that old. And what an athlete those kids are. But I was at the game last night, and so I talked to, and I've been working on this hard. So is my grandson working on it. And we want Wat Misaka's number and jersey retired and hanging in the rafters, well, here and at Ogden High. So the athletic director come up to me and he says, "It's a done deal, we're doing it." "You are?" "Yeah, we're retiring Wat Misaka's number." I says, "You know what his number is?" "Well, I got it written down. It's 15 at Ogden High. He wore 77 here." It's a major step, that it hasn't been done. It's gigantic. He won a championship there, I believe, in 1940. That school was built in 30, so that masterpiece. So it's another major accomplishment by Kevin Blanch, the activist, that wins. It's a major accomplishment. And then I talked to the PA announcer at Ogden High, who does football and basketball, is the best in the state. I'm telling you, he's the best. Why he's not the PA announcer over there at football? Well, we have a great PA announcer here. Rob Alexander's been doing it forever. He's excellent. But football, oh God, it's pitiful over there. The guy that does it, I won't even mention his name, was still calling Rashid Shaheed his senior year Rashad. Oh, it's pitiful. But I've always said, why don't I have him do Weber State? He's the best. So he says, "Kev, not only you getting it's my grandson's honor project that's what was his project, was to get it retired." So, I says, "Well, I hope you give him credit." "Oh, we will." But he says, not only that, he says, "We're going to try to name the entire gymnasium after him." I says, "Rightfully so." So let's talk Weber State basketball. And I've hesitated because I haven't wanted to do any videos about this team this year, because I don't like this coaching staff. But it is what it is. Call it out for what it is. But they got players, and so Tijon St. Jr. Wow, whoa, another. Incredible story. A player that nobody wanted. Kind of like Rashid Shaheed. What a fucking story. So, this young guy is shooting 92% from the line. I don't want to put the hex on him, but I think he's made about 30 free throws in a row. I think he's going to end up being right there leading the country, because he shoots a lot. It isn't like he's shooting a few free throws and, shooting way up there. This young guy shoots 10 free throws a game. He never misses. 3-point shooting. So this team is so talented. Well, they're always talented here at Weber State. Oh, they don't need money at Weber State. They've got players. They always have players. Dylan Jones with the Knicks. And so I'll be sending this, I'm going to be talking to Dylan and Dylan's people, because when we do retire Watt's jersey in the round, which is going to be SAP at Ogden High School, I'm hoping that we can get some representative from the Knicks here, because it was the Knicks who drafted the first player of color in the history of the NBA. Now, Watt said he never dealt with racism ever in Ogden, and he was at Ogden High when Pearl Harbor happened, and he's of Japanese descent. Teacher sent him home. Said he came back. Says he never once dealt with racism in Utah. Never. Well, it's Ogden. I mean, the diverse city. We have it all. We don't judge here. And but he says in New York, once I got to New York, he says that was a whole different thing. But I mean, it took a lot of guts for the Knicks to break the color barrier with a player of Japanese descent on the heels of. I mean, I don't think people realize the racism going on in New York. I mean, he dealt with it. I mean, sure, that's why he didn't last that long with it. I guarantee it. But I hope the Knicks will send out a representative. I'm going to reach out to them. I have connections, and you know, Dylan's there now. Jones playing for the Knicks. You know, we'll see if he starts to get some time, but he might get another ring. You know, Knicks haven't won it since Willis Reed, Walt Frazier. I mean, whoa, what players? So here, what's the deal at Weber State? Call it out for what it is. They have players on here that'll be marquee professional players. What players do in Europe? Are you kidding? Scotty Bamforth's career over there, Joe Ballenboy's career over there, Jeremy Sieglin's career, but Jerry Harding is a mega superstar, which I knew he would be, you know. So, and they said he was too short. First time I ever saw him. St. Junior's unbelievable. I mean, so this team over the last 4 years under the Eric Duff regime, it's the same MO. They built the team around the point guard. They did it with Dylan Jones for 2 years in a row, riding. But Dylan Jones, big. He played point guard here. People don't get that. Wasn't listed as guard, but that's what he did. I mean, he Magic Johnson, Adrian Dantley type. And the Knicks need to wake up. He's not a three-point shooter. He's a rebounder, fight at the rim guy. I mean, hello. But of course, the NBA is all about the three-point shot. I mean, they should just change it to a three-point shooting contest. So, no D in the NBA. So here is so talented, it's unbelievable. They got a player, Bartiani, he's one of the best three-point shooters I've ever seen, ever. He'll be a mega superstar in Europe. I mean, he's got the size, he's got the strength, the way he shoots. I mean, he's the best three-point shooter one of them I've ever seen here. I mean, Nick's right up there with Lillard as far as three-point shooting percentage-wise, but St. Junior is unbelievable. So that's the MO. So they built these teams. They did it with Blaze 3 and just ride him. Blaze 3's playing in the G League for the Nuggets. You know, and somebody says, well, he's not playing yet. He checked that he cashed. It says NBA on it. So I don't want to jinx St. Junior, but I think he could end up leading the country in free throw shooting. Who's the other great? I mean, that's the marquee thumbprint at Weber State great players. You know what it is? Free throw shooting percent. Who's the all-time king? Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard. How about Dylan Jones? How about Blaze? All these guys can shoot free throws. This guy's unbelievable. I mean, he's not very big, but I talked to him before the season started. And I says, hey, look up a guy named Kelvin McCoy, about your size. He reminds me of you. He still reminds me of him big time. I says, you know, it wasn't. I mean, when Lillard was a freshman, Kelvin McCoy was the Big Sky Player of the Year. Reminds me of him big time. But the problem is with this team, they don't win. They do not win. But, what is this? This is a boot camp. I mean, it's not about winning here anymore. They haven't been to the Big Sky tournament. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament. They're going to go over 10 years. 10 years. At 2016, which Dusty Baker hit that game winner. I was in SoCal when he hit that. You know, and he's a leukemia survivor, by the way. Love that guy. You should have seen him in the Damian Lillard event here this year. The Damian Lillard three-point shooting contest. Dude, you should have seen him. I mean, he made like 15 in a row. Boom, 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 boom. Even Lillard's like, whoa. So, but this boot camp, and these players all know this. Of course, they're going to pad their stats. That's what they got to do. They all know this. You come to Weber State for one reason, the boot camp, to move your professional basketball career. You know how many professional basketball players come out of here that just shine? I mean, Europe's just chock full of, I mean, they shine because it's a boot camp here. I mean, their style here, and I'm not a fan of Duff's style. I mean, a person, oh yeah, I mean, as a person, he's a great person. Everybody knows that. But he don't win. But, you know, Willard's the GM here. I talked to Willard about it. You know, how long will Willard will end up coaching here. I think he'll be the head coach. You know, athletic director, I hope it's Jimmy Drop. That's why. But it is what it is. So, good news. Good on you, Dylan. Keep rolling, man. Making a lot of money. I wish you'd get to play, but come playoff time, we'll see. Those Knicks, last year, they had that small 7-round. I thought they could win it last year. Well, they can win it this year. No doubt. I mean, they're going to go in as probably the 2 seed in the East, the playoffs, but they're going to need a body like him come playoffs down the stretch. So I got a hunch we're going to hear from Dylan Jones come playoff time. You know, and so he's built for it. He's really built for that long NBA season. He's a rebounder. He's a point guard. He's not a shooter. Quit trying to turn him into a three-point shooter. He's not. I mean, he'll fight you at the rim. You know, Dylan Adrian. We have a young player named Grayson here who goes by AD. You know, Dylan Jones reminds me a lot of Adrian Danley, and so, and a combination of Magic Johnson. So. Big. I was so happy last night after the game. You know, walked out of there. I was so thrilled. I mean, you know, I've been working on this for decades. And Weber State, are they racist? Ask Brad Mortensen. I advised those young women that got the diversity center. I was the guy. I mean, they set in. I was the one that advised them. They killed that all through the Utah State Legislature. But bigger than that, that indigenous woman that was ready to speak up here leaked. They sent her a contract word she couldn't say. Brad Mortensen. Read the list. If you don't think that's racism, something's the matter with your brain. I don't know why some of these marquee athletes like Damian Lillard, Rashid Shaheed, Teron Johnson aren't making a statement about it. It's disgusting. You know, they're searching for a new president because nobody wants it. Mortensen did a number here. He lied to me. He stabbed me in the back. Well, Weber State's famous for stabbing people in the back. How about anti-woman? Do you know about Fawn Brody? Do you know about Fawn Brody? So, just the greatest historian in the history of the country. That's all. What was she? 20-year-old professor at Weber State, history professor. You know, I mean, she's the 2 greatest alumni in the history of this school. It's not Damian Lillard. I mean, he's way up there. You know, Nolan Archibald, Ogden High. He's way up there. It's WAT MISAKA. WAT MISAKA, and I mean 1-2. WAT MISAKA and Fawn McKay Brody. Both Weber State. WAT MISAKA won 2 national championships at Weber State. Oh, it was just a JC. Yeah, so what? You know, so did freaking Byron Scott's dad. You know, they dished him also. When is Weber State going to put WAT MISAKA's banners in here? When? Huh? So I had bets with people who retires WAT MISAKA's number first. Ogden High or Weber State, because it should have been done decades ago. Well, the University of Utah finally did it a few years ago. So he wore number 22 at University of Utah. I believe he wore number 16 with the Knicks. He wore 15 at Ogden High. He wore number 77 here. His should have been the first banner up there. It's more than basketball. Basketball metaphors matter. Kobe Bryant to a trainer here. Isn't it amazing how basketball tells the tale of all call? I mean, it's like Ken Burns' 9th inning in baseball. Basketball's even bigger. I mean, it's the metaphor. Kobe Bryant, who spoke how many? 5, 6 languages? Isn't it amazing how basketball will tell the future before it even happens? A trainer told me that here, that trained with him, Kobe, because we have a famous training program. Joe Bass is retired and moved on. And by the way, why is Weber State not wearing patches or doing something for the great Steve Klauke? Steve Klauke was killed. Guy blew the crosswalk up by his home and killed him. The greatest announcer we ever had here, by far. No one's even close to never, ever, than Steve Klauke. Loved that guy. The only one that ever gave me any respect around here. He was the best. Haven't done anything. So when are they going to retire Watt's number here? So the new president comes in, nobody wants it. That's why they haven't named on it, because they know there's that many problems here. How do you fix it? I'll tell you, First thing you do, the new president, whoever this is, when the new president, I'm going to send him this video. How do you fix it? 1, statue of Fawn McKay Brody in front of the Weber State Library. I've been working on that for decades. 2, retire WAT MISAKA's number and get it hanging from the rafters up there by Sojourners, Bruce Collins, Dick Motta's, and Damian Lillard's. And all those belong there. Absolutely, they belong there. And so, but so does Watts. So that's great news. Keep going. GSJ, I call him. GSJ, I mean, he's right there floating around with the likes of Damian Lillard on free throw shooting. He can shoot the 3. Dude is outstanding. He's unbelievable. Another great Weber State story. A player that nobody wanted. Kind of like Rashid Shaheed. So, long video, but important video. You know, I was so thrilled yesterday. Really thrilled. Ogden High's going to do it. They're going to retire Watts. I says, make sure you give my grandson credit. You know, because that's been his project. You know, it's been mine for years, but it's a big deal. When they're going to retire it here in the Purple Palace. So I don't want to jinx you, Tijan. Jeez. I mean, he's made about 30 in a row. He had the one game where he missed summer. He'd be sitting on about 80 in a row because he had a streak before that. So he's outstanding. Bunch of outstanding players on this team. You know, they'll make a lot of money in their professional careers. I mean, that's what Weber State does, the boot camp. Stay tuned.